Hello everybody, my name is Leila. So today we're going to be talking about another phrase in business, especially in business working, which is all about business ownership. So when we talk about the word business ownership, what will you think of? Business ownership. It basically talks about how you own, how you build yourself the business of your own. So when you were able to build that business, then in that case it's considered as business ownership, which means that you have the ownership to that business specifically. So here I'm not going to be talking about too deep about the definition of the word business ownership because the meaning of itself is basically the word itself. So now we're going to be talking about the 4 common characteristics that a person must have so that they could have the chances to own business, or basically to have ownership for a business. First is self-motivation. So what is self-motivation? When you guys look into the word self-motivation, you guys will see that, basically it means that you have to motivate yourself. And so what area do you motivate yourself on? You motivate yourself on everything. If you fail, you have to motivate yourself to continue. If you are troubling over something, you have to motivate yourself that you can do it. If you are too tired, you have to motivate yourself that you have a whole business to run. And so that is the very first thing that you need to have self-motivation. No one will be able to go over and tell you, hey, you did not finish that work. You cannot just lay it off like that. And so that is when self-motivation must comes in, and you must be able to understand that, okay, this is my prioritization and I want to finish it, I must finish it. And when we talk about self-motivation, if you want to have the self-motivation in the inner core of yourself, you need to have the passion for your own work. So you need to have passion for the service or for the product that your business provides. If, for example, your business you wanting to open is an electronics business, you need to have passion for electronics. You need to have passion for helping people. You need to have passion for involving the work, for modernized things. Or for example, if you are a person that works at a non-profit business, for example, you must have the love, you must have the passion to help people. If you don't, then you're going to be losing everything else. You do not have the core motivation inside you. You do not have the only very biggest reason that you put up to yourself on. And if you do something that's not your passion, not out of love, or not to what you like, what your liking is, then you most likely to get bored of it soon, or to lose motivation and lose hope for it soon. So that's why you need to have passion about what you're doing. You need to have passion about what you're talking about, what you're listening about, what you are working on about. If you do not, you're most likely going to lay off on that really quickly. Moving on is you need to have good communication skills. Great communication skills. Because when you own a business, you interact with many people, right? You do not just work by yourself. You work with your consumer, you work with your employees, you work with your manager, you work with your assistants, for example, or you work with people like the people that provide you raw materials, etc. You need to have good communication skills. For instance, if you have good communication skills with your customer, you're most likely to relate to them, you're most likely to connect to them, and you're most likely to improve the relationship between you and the customers. If you have good communication still between you and the employees will feel more happy when they're working. They would feel like they're in a better open culture, in a better business culture, and they will feel more relaxed when they're doing the work. And so if you have good communication skills, it's going to help you along. And lastly is that you need to be able to take risk. What do we mean by here is that business is not stable at all. Stable is not a word to describe the characterizations of business. So when you want to join the business task force, when you want to work, when you want to improve, when you want your business to grow, you must take risk. You must be able to invest, and you must be able to take risk. You cannot just stay safe in your comfort zone all the time and expect your business to rise. A lot of businesses have stepped out of their comfort zone to challenge themselves to take risk, and a lot of great businesses have the characterization that they can take risk. And when you are able to master all these 4 common characteristics of a business ownership, you have a better better chance at success because you have the equipped skills for yourself for being an owner of a business. And what's even more important is that you guys might ask me, I want to do an ownership on business, but I do not have these skills. What should I do? The only way for you to practice these skills is physically practice. You need to motivate yourself. You need to find a passion by yourself. You need to find what you love. You need to practice communicating with people. You need to understand, you need to be a good listener. And lastly, you need to take risk. Take risks in small things, like whether or not do you want to eat this for today, whether or not should you purchase this for today. You understand the principles of risk taking, you understand the principles of communication, you know how to motivate yourself, you know what your heart tells you to do, you know what your passion is burning for, and then that is when you master the 4 common characteristics of business ownership and you have a higher chance of success. Thank you for listening. Bye.